Hello, everybody. This is Dale Dickerson with Coach Jason Russell. This week's edition of the Olive Branch Coaches Show. Coach, we had another game where we had an hour and 15-minute rain delay and lightning delay,
Yes.
and we finally got to play. And then we played in almost like hurricane conditions at times out there, and it was just a tough environment Friday night.
Certainly was. I mean, we talked about it before we got on air. We have to buy new tents and everything on the sideline. I mean, there was, we're punting the ball, and the ball goes straight up and just gets caught in the wind. We had a fade ball get knocked straight down. I mean, just crazy conditions. The field was, they've got a great field, but we'd gotten so much rain, it was just muddy. I mean, we literally were running in mud out there.
Yeah, it was a tough environment. Southaven, we were talking earlier, Southaven probably has the best front seven defense that we will face all year, and maybe one of the best in the state.
That's right. I mean, one of the best that I've ever faced in all my years of coaching, and they're big, they're physical, they're fast. We coming into the game, I felt like our speed was our advantage, and when you added in that wet, muddy field, and we were running in mud, we couldn't make cuts, we couldn't use our speed, and they physically outmatched us in the box.
You can tell the line of scrimmage was dominated both sides by them, and that showed in the stats and everything, and how the game progressed was just the line of scrimmage was just something we could never ever overcome during the ball game.
Definitely.
Okay, we got a couple of plays here we're going to show on offense. Braden Wright had a couple of long runs. One looked like maybe it was an option play where he faked the handoff to Traylor and then kept it himself around the end. So let's go to the first play here. About a 13-yard run by Braden. This was early in the game.
And we motion in right here, run a little zone read. Braden keeps it off the edge. Got a good little crease right there, and again, you see their speed, their size. I mean, they kind of, we've got a great opportunity, and where what normally is a 20-yard gain is a 10-yard gain, and they did a great job. Hats off to those guys, and field conditions were frustrating, and the wind and everything's frustrating, but that's a great football team we played Friday night.
All right, let's look at the next one. This is another run, almost the same play, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same situation here. This time we don't motion in and bring the H-back back in the backfield. We stay out in a 3-by-1 set, run the same play. Giving them multiple different looks, we felt like that was an advantage. A good play for us coming in is running our zone read, and you can see there are a couple positive plays on it.
They had a couple of scores there in the first, let's see, I think they scored 3 times in the first half, but we got into the third quarter, and it became a pretty good defensive struggle, and we actually had a really great goal line stand. We're going to show a couple plays from it, but they had first and goal from the 1, and we held them out of the end zone, which I thought was really positive for our team.
Well, I know you look at the score and you see 32 points, and that's not acceptable. That's not where we want to be defensively. But those 32 points, one came on a bad snap on a punt block that they had, and then they had a short field where we only had about 20, 30 yards to defend. Got a couple other scores that way. You take that away, that's 3 touchdowns right there. So you're looking at right at 20 points, because I know they didn't get the conversion on one. So you're looking around at 20 points come off the board, and we allow them to score 12 points if you do that, if you take away those short fields. And I felt like our defense really did improve this week. Again, 32 points not acceptable, but we saw some improvements and we saw some things that we've been working on. Did a better job of setting the edge. I thought we brought Manny Lee and played him down at the Sam linebacker. I thought he did a better job of setting the edge, forcing the runs back inside to where your help is. I was proud of how he played. And then, like you said, the goal line stand. I mean, we haven't had one of those yet. They get the ball first and goal from the 1-yard line and don't get any points. And so proud of our kids right there. That's right there in the third quarter. It shows you our kids, they're not giving up. They're fighting hard. They're playing hard. They're excited. They just want to go out there and compete.
All right, let's show a couple of plays from that goal line stand here.
All right, this is first down right here. They're first and goal from the 1 on this play. You see us bottle them up, get the stop. They're not getting anything on the run game. There's nowhere to go. And then you see the next play. They end up having to resort and try to pass it right there on the goal line. And we get the stop again, get the incompletion, and to finish the goal line stand right here.
Yeah, it was a really good defensive stand. I think the kids were pretty excited coming off that, because that's a tough position to be in
Yeah.
high school. First and goal from the 1, and to hold somebody out, that's a great defensive effort.
Absolutely. A frustrating game like this, you've got to look for the positives and the things that we can grow upon, and we can look at and say, okay, we've got better here, and take those positives to the next game and correct the mistakes and get better.
We also did really well on improving our penalty situation. We only had 3 penalties in the ball
right.
game, so that
That's
was
right.
a good positive too. That was a big difference from last week's 16 or whatever we had.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, penalties have plagued us all year, so that's something that good that we fixed, and we'll continue to address constantly in practice and daily.
Okay, well, let's look ahead next week. We got Center Hill Mustangs. We've only played them in our series. I was surprised. I didn't know it was only 2 games. We've only played them twice in 2017 and 18 when we were both 5A schools. So this is our first meeting with a 6A, and you and I have talked before. This is a tough game for defense because they play that veer, wishbone, flex, whatever you want to call it, but you don't see it anywhere, so special preparations all week for that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got to look at that with that offense, because it can go in every single play. Of course, you have 3 different options just about, and then as soon as you start trying to stop the run, and here they go, they run by you for a big play in the passing game. They don't throw it much, but when they do, they make it count. And so you've got to make sure that you're just reading your keys, you're tackling your responsibility, and you know, it all comes down to responsibility football. You can't go try to do somebody else's job. You've got to do your job, and you've got to just do it consistent every single play. If you don't, they'll hit you for a big one.
Well, that's we were talking earlier about Memphis and Navy. That game and that set, when you face that, if you don't take your responsibility, it's going to bite you every time.
Absolutely.
You're right. You cannot change and try to say, okay, I'm going to do something different from my key because I think I know what I'm going to do. You have to be disciplined to do that and play this game.
That's exactly right. You know, you got to tackle the guy that you're supposed to tackle every single play. And you know, a lot of times when you prepare for a team like this, you take the football out of the drill. You know, because it's not about the football. It's about what's my key, who am I tackling, what am I doing every single play. Okay,
well, this should be an interesting game Friday night. Played at home, 7 o'clock this week against Center Hill. Hope to see everybody out at 7 o'clock Pool Field. It's going to be a great night, probably around 60 degrees, 65 degrees kickoff. So hope to see everybody there. Let's pack the stadium. Good day, everybody. Thanks.